Happy Saturday, everybody. Welcome to your weather forecast. I am meteorologist Mr. G, back with you once again, making it through your weekend. I hope you guys are having a great one out there. Let's talk about the weather forecast across America this weekend and into the beginning of next week. So we're still dealing with a lot of heat across the western U.S., down in the southern plains and the desert southwest, where we have those very high temperatures. We're looking at temperatures in the triple digits all the way across the southern U.S. So if you're along the I-10 corridor from Southern California all the way through Texas and into Louisiana, you're going to be seeing those high temperatures over 100 degrees and as high as 117 degrees as you get into the desert southwest and central Arizona, where it's 117 in Phoenix. Today is your high temperature, 114 in Yuma, down there along I-8 into San Diego. So we're going to be seeing that heat down across the southwest yet again another day and into tomorrow as well. And then here's a look at those heat advisories and alert. We do have a excessive heat warning over parts of the southwest and into Southern California and parts of Nevada as well, where we're seeing excessive heat. Elsewhere, we have heat advisories down across Texas into the Dallas Metroplex, down into Austin, as well as in San Antonio. We're going to be dealing with our excessive heat, which includes Louisiana, Mississippi, and central Alabama. So the heat is on across the south and the southwest. And in Florida as well, we have a heat, but that heat is aided by the combination of high humidities as well. Very high dew points combined with upper temperatures in the upper 90s to near 100, because if you know anything about the tropics, the temperature seldom doesn't move very much because of the amount of moisture in the air. So we will get those temperatures close to 100. But believe it or not, the temperatures in Miami seldomly reach 100 degrees. They often top out 98, 99, but with those very high humidities, it warrants a heat advisory for this afternoon across South Florida. And in the Northeast, we have a different sort of a problem with excessive rainfall being the case now that we have an atmospheric river in place and a very stagnant weather pattern where we're not seeing a lot of that activity move off the shore out to sea, but it's going to hang around in the Northeast and continue to provide the possibility of flash flooding over the eastern U.S. for the most part and in parts of the eastern Great Lakes. But we do have some areas into northeastern Pennsylvania, southern New York, northern New Jersey, and then further down to the south there to West Virginia and parts of northeastern Tennessee, where we can see some excessive rainfall lead to flash flooding through tomorrow morning. Here is our flash flood our flash flood threat through Monday morning, and this is going to be to New England, parts of Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine as well, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, northern New Jersey, eastern Pennsylvania, and eastern upstate New York, where we have the likelihood of some flash flooding due to some heavy rainfall, continuous rainfall. Air quality issues to talk about across the high plains in the upper Midwest. The fires in western Canada over the Rockies now. We're dealing with fire, so we're seeing that smoke create some air quality issues from Minneapolis once again and into the northern plains and the parts of the high plains of Montana. We're seeing the smoke in the air, and it's even thick enough that it's creating issues with the sunlight. So it's making things a little bit darker, a little bit seem like it's kind of cloudy, even though it's really a cloud-free day, but you have a lot of that dust and smoke in the air from those fires. Here is that smoke coming down out of the Canadian Rockies and flowing across the upper Midwest and the plains and into parts of the Great Lakes through the remainder of the weekend. So that is a look at the smoke that we're going to be dealing with across the Midwest and the Northern Plains. And here is a look at our fire as far as acres. Millions of acres is burned. 23.9 million acres have burned in 2023 so far, far outstripping last winter and the last several. This is the most acreage that have burned on record across Canada. All right, here is our pattern. We have that stagnant area of low pressure over the Hudson Bay, and we have our atmospheric river coming up over the Gulf of the Gulf Stream and into the Atlantic, the Northeast, and that's going to be keeping that rain in check and in place across the eastern U.S. through the remainder of the weekend. Here is our current conditions and our current satellite. Here is a look at that atmospheric river along the eastern half of the United States and into the Great Lakes. And you can see that rainfall extending along the southeast coast and out over the Gulf of Mexico. We're seeing that rainfall, those showers and thunderstorms. So that flooding rain will continue through the Ohio Valley and into the Northeast. And here we are as we talk about those current temperatures right now. 95 temperatures in the 90s, upper 80s across much of the Midwest and the South along the Gulf Coast and into the southeastern U.S. And we're seeing those lower in the mid 80s into the Northeast. And we're seeing those triple digits out here across the Southwest through Arizona and some parts of eastern California and southern Nevada and around the Las Vegas area. We're seeing that heat in place. Very nice temperatures across the Pacific Northwest. Very cool. Those temperatures in the 60s along the coast and those 80s on the interior portions. And we're looking at those 70s across the northern Rockies as well. And those temperatures in the 60s and 70s. Look at the beautiful temperatures across the northern plains and the upper Midwest today. Very nice. Unfortunately, it's aided by some of the smoke kind of blotting out the sun, but it is making the temperatures quite nice. Here is our heat indexes down across the southeast, the Gulf Coast, Florida, and the desert Southwest. Look at that heat. Those are all temperatures where it feels like it's in the low 100s right along the Gulf Coast. Look at that 104 in Mobile. Look at that 103 down in Louisiana and New Orleans, and those temperatures over 100 across the state of Texas. And we're seeing those temperatures in the triple digits out here across Arizona. So it's very hot out there, very humid across the south and the southeast. So it's aiding in that uncomfortable feel, that stickiness and that heaviness in the air. So please take precaution to stay cool, stay hydrated, find a pool, go see if there's some water you can play in, or just sit somewhere and sit still in the shade, okay? All right, here's our humidity again across the southeast and the eastern U.S. and into the northeast, where all of our wet weather, rain, and thunderstorms are taking place, and we are seeing some showers and storms, some isolated stuff across the southern plains, but we're going to be seeing those temperatures in the 70s, in those dew points in the 70s and into the 60s, and then very comfortable up across parts of the western U.S. where we're starting to see those dew points rise across the southwest as we're getting for that monsoon flow to begin. But we are seeing very nice dew points across the Rockies and the Pacific Northwest. Here's our thunderstorm forecast today. And we're seeing a lot of that across the central and southern plains, the high plains from Colorado, and then across the Red River Valley into Texas and Oklahoma, the Ozarks, and then along the Gulf Coast and the Appalachian Mountains and into the Northeast, New England. We're seeing showers and thunderstorms today. And here is a look at your forecast for this afternoon. That rainfall will continue across the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley, the Appalachian Mountain Range, the Gulf Coast, the Southeast, and into the Northeast. We're seeing those showers, thunderstorms. That flooding problems will continue but it's very dry across the western half of the country. Beautiful weather from the high plains, the northern plains, and the Midwest to the West Coast and the Pacific Ocean. So very beautiful day today across the western United States. Same will hold true for tonight. Dry weather across the west. That wet weather, our atmospheric river along the east coast here and into the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley once again, more of those showers and storms. So Cleveland down through Louisville, Kentucky, D.C., New York, Philly, all of you folks, and down across the southeast, Atlanta, down to Miami, showers and some thunderstorms, a lot of heat and humidity across the southeast once again. And here we go with your Monday on your Sunday morning tomorrow. That rainfall moves a little bit to the east. We're going to start to see that move into New England. We're going to see that heavy rain increase the possibility of flooding likelihood there across New England. And we're going to see those showers right along the Atlantic coast here in southeastern U.S. and into the Gulf Coast of the parts of Louisiana, Alabama, and Florida and South Georgia. We're going to see those showers and thunderstorms. Dry weather for the western United States. That heat will continue from Texas to the desert Southwest. Those triple-digit temperatures and that smoke will continue up in the north, the northern plains, and the upper Midwest. Beautiful weather out west. Very nice for you folks out there. That is a look at your weather forecast. My name is Mr. G. Have a great weekend, everybody. I will be back tomorrow with tomorrow's forecast, okay? Have a good day. Bye-bye.